I'm Liz Warner. You're tuned in to WDET 101.9 FM. WDET is a nonprofit public radio station that relies on listeners like you. Your support makes live performances like this possible. You can give now at WDET.org or on the WDET mobile app. Today, we are broadcasting from Studio A of Old Main Recording on the campus of Wayne State University. I'm very excited to be able to introduce this next band to you, some of the finest musicians in Detroit, some of my favorites. They have a record out, new, called Tabula Rasa, and we're going to hear today a song from that record and also two brand new songs. And we'll be talking all about those songs and about the band after, so please do keep it tuned in. Without further ado, please welcome with me Infinite River. That's absolutely incredible. I love that.
Thank you.
Before I talk with you about that amazing music, I just want to introduce everyone. We have Gretchen Gonzales Davidson on guitar. She has previously done work with Slumber Party, Terror at the Opera, Universal Indians, is a wonderful supporter of the arts. Joey Mazzola as well on guitar, who has previously been with Detroit Cobras, with Sponge, Sugarcoats, and also teaches guitar. And we have Warren Defever, keyboard and synth, whose previous bands include His Name is Alive, or current bands, I believe, I hope. ESP Summer, Princess Dragon Mom, and just about anything that he dreams up at any given moment. And Rob Avsharian on drums, who is a drummer who's been with numerous musicians on tour and also in the rock and jazz vein, which is super cool. An instructor, has worked on television themes, commercials as well. An impressive group of musicians in this room, and it's a bit of, I don't know, it's a rock history kind of moment in here. And it's also, what you've done is you've embraced this space rock part of Detroit, this cosmic space rock that I really, really, truly love. So I don't know, I mean, we could talk about just that alone just to get started. The sound that you have developed, how did that come to be? What was the idea behind that? How did it all start?
Originally, the first two releases were purely experimental. Everything was improvised on the spot, and the latest record is more song structured. So it kind of just morphed into that eventually.
What was it that did bring you together at first to even experiment?
Gretchen and I were doing a lot of jamming just together. And I think you were jamming with Warren.
Mm-hmm, separately.
Yep.
It's been years. You meet each other and you end up jamming. And then when Joey and I had this improv thing going, and we thought we wanted to see what other friends could do with us. And, then Warren popped up somehow, just showed up at the house. And all of a sudden, the three of us started recording. We probably have hundreds of hours of recordings.
So
Easily.
We're basically just scratching the surface so far.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And every time we get together, Joey's like, well, I have like 5 more songs.
I love that. That's really cool. That works out really well. So tell me about the song, Mickey Jones. I can try to guess on this, but tell me about what's going on with that.
I love the freedom in this band because I can write things that I never would have written in any other group that I've been in. It's way outside of that. So I can do stuff with weird time signatures and odd chords. And the name of the band, the name of the song comes from the only bona fide junkie in high school. And I think he was 15 or 16, and he was a heroin user. And I just thought his name fit him so well, and it's always stuck with me all these years. So I had to name a song after him. That's
interesting. So that gives it even more of a kind of Pink Floyd twist in a way, right?
It's weird, yeah.
Because sometimes when I hear the music that you're playing, I think of Interstellar Overdrive, and it just has a lot of those similarities of space is the place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? And that's kind of where it all begins for me.
I like that.
Uma Guma is one of my favorite records of all time.
Yeah.
I love the songs on that.
I'm going to actually ask you about more of your songs because I did ask you about the Mickey Jones song, but I also wanted to ask you about My Favorite Things. How did that end up on the record?
Warren, how'd that end up on the record?
That is a good question. I feel like Gretchen was very familiar with the extreme out there versions by John Coltrane, and Joey's a big fan of The Sound of Music, which is where the song originally came from, and we did like a weird mix of the two styles.
And this is for anyone who doesn't know Warren, he sometimes tends to embellish a bit, shall we say? On
I think that's right on, though.
Is it?
This is one of his.
I would never lie to you.
I don't know. What does Joey have to say?
It's complete BS.
I can't really remember.
I like my part, though.
I think I was listening to John Coltrane before Gretchen was even born.
Well, Warren used to be my babysitter, so, you know, I'm the young one in the band.
Gretchen's husband, Ethan, had bought a tambura from India, and I borrowed it for a long time and learned how to play it, and it's just tuned to one chord. So early on, we were looking for songs that just could play one chord, and my favorite things worked out nicely.
That is how it was so easy to improvise over a tambura holding one chord, because Gretchen would be doing some cool feedback stuff, and then it gave me the freedom to throw in any chord I wanted or that would fit, and I loved that.
Mm-hmm. I like the layered effect that both of you have with the guitars, because you wouldn't think that it would have as much texture, but I think with your backgrounds, it works because you're informed differently, and then you bring your own style into the mix.
Thank you.
Love that.
Do you love experimenting with that?
Absolutely. Yeah. I do. When we came together, it really was about layering the sound. So I appreciate your analysis.
Yeah.
It's good. Thank you.
There's something about Detroit, right? There's something about Detroit. So not only do we have the space rock scene and the rock and roll scene, which is, those are both very healthy scenes. The space rock could get a little healthier thanks to you. That's changing. But you think about someone like Alice Coltrane, right? And that cosmic train of thought, no pun intended. But it seems like you have picked up on that. And to me, I guess by saying that, it seems like maybe there's a little bit of jazz kind of working into that, which Rob on drums actually helps out with a lot, because Rob, I can tell, plays in a jazz style oftentimes as well. So is that something that resonates with you?
Absolutely. I love what Rob brings, because I want to keep it interesting for me too, and I've already done the rock thing many times. So to add that element to what we're doing here, beautiful. Yeah.
What are the plans for recording new material? It sounds like you have a lot already stored.
Gretchen?
Getting ready. Yep. Record number 4, hopefully started. Well, I guess it's technically we've already started, but finishing that up this year, and hopefully, I don't know, Warren. Warren's busy too. He's our producer, so it depends on his schedule.
I think we should do a live album too. That'll be album number 5, live album.
I mean, that'd be cool actually, because the live performance, the recent record release that you put together was so well orchestrated between the visuals, the opening. It was almost like ritual-like at the whole thing, and it really brought everyone in. And it was in an intimate enough setting that everyone, I think, felt like they were really a part of this moment. So I want to compliment you on that wonderful job you did.
That was all Warren came up with that idea, where he would sit on the dance floor.
And it would have been a great recording, Warren.
Originally, the idea was I would play solo. It'd be like spotlight on me.
Oh, of course.
Everybody joined in. And it was I basically sat down in the mosh pit and started playing acoustic. And
did you get hurt?
It was one of the least cool mosh pits ever. So, but it had a good vibe. But then the Bell crew came out, and they had the vibe, and they ran circles around me, and then they passed out flowers, and then Johnny came in, and then Gretchen moved to gong, and it was a real vibe.
What was the goal behind it when you put it all together? What was the thought?
Set a vibe.
Set a vibe. Mm-hmm.
It's great when it's our own show because we can do things like that. But when we're opening up for somebody, like we just did, we got to get down to business and do a quick set.
Time limit.
Yep.
That's right. You open up for Kim Gordon. And how is the Kim Gordon crowd receptive to your music?
So fun. It was I feel like we complimented her really well, and it went over well. At least I felt it.
Yeah, it was all ages, so that was a big plus.
Oh, that's
right
cool.
There. Yeah, Minneapolis, and then here at L Club.
2 shows.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And you have another show coming up. You're going to be doing the VIP reception at Concert of Colors.
A couple of us. Sorry, Joey. We're
Yeah.
doing like a little side project. We played, Infinite River played Concert of Colors last year, and they don't like to do the repeat band. So I put together a little side band with Warren and Dr. Pete Larson and Fred Thomas, and maybe Rob if he's available. We'll have to talk about that.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
So that's another thing to check out.
Yeah.
And if people want to find out more about your music, the best place is
Bandcamp. probably.
Bandcamp. Okay.
It's got all the records. Instagram, Rivers of Infinity.
All right. Cool.
Thank you.
It's been such a pleasure to have you here. It's I really love I'm going to call it a private performance for now until it finally gets released out into the world.
Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, of course. Thank you. Thank you for making the time. You can watch this and past performances at wdet.org/live on WDET. I'd like to give special thanks to Mike Shellabarger, professor of teaching in the music department at Wayne State University, who's doing engineering. Also to Fudz as assistant engineer, Conor Anderson, who is producing this segment, Griffin Hutchings, who's also giving some assistance in the area of production. This is WDET FM Detroit. I'm Liz Warner. Thanks for listening.